Story 1 of 8. Trump's feud with Pope Leo XIV over Iran war, immigration, and religious imagery. Trump's feud with Pope Leo XIV over Iran war, immigration, and religious imagery. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Donald Trump called Pope Leo XIV weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy on April 13, 2026, on Truth Social. Pope Leo XIV criticized Trump's Iran war threats, including Trump's statement "a whole civilization will die tonight," as truly unacceptable. Trump posted an AI-generated image of himself as a Jesus-like figure healing the sick on April 13, 2026, which he later deleted. Pope Leo XIV is the first US-born pope, elected in May 2025. Trump claimed Pope Leo was elected because he was American and to deal with President Donald J. Trump. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian and Newscomer state Trump's AI image included a demonic figure, but Trump claimed it was a soldier in the original version. The Guardian and ABC report Trump's AI image was deleted after backlash, but Trump claimed he never intended it to be blasphemous. The Guardian and Newscomer say Trump's AI image was altered from an earlier version by Nick Adams, but Trump denied any intent to depict himself as Jesus. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, SBS News, Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Story 2 of 8. India's failed 2026 Women's Reservation Bill and delimitation controversy. India's failed 2026 Women's Reservation Bill and delimitation controversy. Here's what every outlet agrees on. The Women's Reservation Bill, which reserves 1/3 of parliamentary seats for women, was unanimously passed in 2023 but not yet implemented due to pending electoral boundary redrawing. The 2026 vote on the bill failed with 298 MPs voting in favour and 230 against, falling short of the required 2/3 majority for a constitutional amendment. The bill was linked to a delimitation process to redraw parliamentary constituencies based on the 2011 census, increasing seats from 543 to about 850. Southern states like Tamil Nadu, governed by the DMK, protested the delimitation bill, with Chief Minister M.K. Stalin calling it the black law and burning a copy. Opposition parties, including the Indian National Congress, accused the BJP government of using the Women's Reservation Bill as a cover for delimitation, with Rahul Gandhi stating it was not a women's bill but an attack on democracy. But not all outlets told the same story. The ABC states the 2011 census put India's population at 1.21 billion, while The Guardian mentions a population of over 1.4 billion in 2026. The ABC reports the delimitation bill would increase seats to about 800, while The Guardian states it would increase seats to about 850. The ABC describes the bill as requiring a 2/3 majority due to it being a constitutional amendment, while The Guardian does not explicitly state this but implies it through the vote tally. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian. Story 3 of 8. NSW Fair Trading crackdown on petrol price mismatches and misleading practices. NSW Fair Trading crackdown on petrol price mismatches and misleading practices. Here's what every outlet agrees on. More than 2,300 petrol stations in NSW have been inspected since March 2026 by Fair Trading. 210 fines have been issued to petrol stations for breaching fuel transparency regulations, with 70% in regional areas. The Bowser Busters initiative allows motorists to report price mismatches via the Fuel Check app, with 40% of penalty notices issued through this portal. On-the-spot fines of $1,100 are issued for price mismatches, with potential court penalties up to $110,000. Lake Cargiligo and Cobar in the Central West NSW were among the most targeted sites for price mismatches. But not all outlets told the same story. ABC reports 2,300 petrol stations inspected, while Newscomer states over 3,300 on-site inspections took place, including re-inspections. This story was covered by ABC News and news.com.au. Story 4 of 8. ASIC cracks down on unlicensed finfluencers in Australia. ASIC cracks down on unlicensed finfluencers in Australia. Here's what every outlet agrees on. ASIC issued warning notices to 4 finfluencers suspected of giving unlawful financial advice, including promoting claims of guaranteed returns. ASIC is reviewing the licensees of a further 15 finfluencers amid an ongoing crackdown. The crackdown is part of the second global week of action against unlawful finfluencers, involving 17 global regulators. ASIC Commissioner Alan Kirkland stated that finfluencer activity in Australia is significant and warned that unlicensed advice carries risks for investors. ASIC previously cancelled the AFS license of a company in February 2024 for failing to supervise its finfluencers. But not all outlets told the same story. Article 2, SBS, mentions 4 finfluencers received warning notices, but no specific details or sources are provided to cross-verify with Article 1, ABC. This story was covered by ABC News and SBS News. Story 5 of 8. Suppression order lifted on ex-soldier Benjamin Luke Johnston, revealing his identity in Nick Martin murder case. Suppression order lifted on ex-soldier Benjamin Luke Johnston, revealing his identity in Nick Martin murder case. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Benjamin Luke Johnston, a former soldier, was hired by David Pye to murder ex-Rebels bikie boss Nick Martin at Perth Motorplex in 2020. Johnston was sentenced to 20 years in jail in December 2021 for the murder of Nick Martin. David Pye was found guilty of ordering the hit on Nick Martin and is awaiting sentencing. Johnston testified in Pye's trial, stating Pye paid him $100,000, though Johnston claimed he was promised $150,000. The WA Supreme Court lifted the suppression order on Johnston's identity on April 24, 2026, after his lawyer argued it hindered his ability to use his real name for education and prison visits. But not all outlets told the same story. ABC spells Johnston's lawyer as David Maniera, while Newscomau spells it as David Marina. ABC refers to the judge as Joe McGrath, while Newscomau refers to him as Justice Joseph McGrath. ABC states Johnston was shortchanged $50,000, promised $150,000 but received $100,000, while Newscomau only mentions Pye paid him $100,000 without specifying the promised amount. This story was covered by ABC News and news.com.au. Story 6 of 8. 2 experienced Australian travellers fall victim to a $1,500 taxi scam at Santiago Airport. 2 experienced Australian travellers fall victim to a $1,500 taxi scam at Santiago Airport. Here's what every outlet agrees on. 2 Australians paid nearly 1 million Chilean pesos, approximately 1,500 Australian dollars, for a taxi ride from Arturo Merino Benitez International Airport in Santiago, Chile, when the fare should have been $40. The scam occurred on April 24, 2026, with the articles published on the same day, Thiege at 10:25 a.m. and SMH at 6:25 a.m. The victims received 2 white tickets from an official taxi office at the airport, which they later realized may have been a scam indicator. The scammer used a sleek Mercedes with a driver, posing as an official taxi service, and charged the victims using a portable credit card machine. The victims attempted to take a photo of the scammer's lanyard and threatened to call the police, leading the scammer to shove one of them out of the car and flee. This story was covered by Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Story 7 of 8. Teen killer's 16-year sentence upheld for murdering Queensland grandmother in 2024. Teen killer's 16-year sentence upheld for murdering Queensland grandmother in 2024. Here's what every outlet agrees on. A 16-year-old boy stabbed Vilene White, 70, to death in a shopping centre car park at Ipswich's Redbank Plains in 2024. The teen stole Vilene White's car after the stabbing, which left her with a 17 centimeters deep wound through her heart. The boy pleaded guilty to murder and other offences, including unlawful use of a motor vehicle, in 2025. The teen was sentenced to 16 years in detention, with a requirement to serve 60% of the sentence in custody. The Queensland Court of Appeal upheld the 16-year sentence, dismissing the teen's appeal in April 2026. But not all outlets told the same story. No contradictions found between the two sources on core factual claims. This story was covered by ABC News and news.com.au. Story 8 of 8. Discovery of potential unmarked Aboriginal burial sites on Rottnest Island. Discovery of potential unmarked Aboriginal burial sites on Rottnest Island. Here's what every outlet agrees on. A dozen more potential unmarked Aboriginal burial sites were identified near Holy Trinity Church on Rottnest Island via ground-penetrating radar. Human remains were discovered during construction work at Holy Trinity Church on Rottnest Island earlier this month, April 2026. The bones found were confirmed to be historical in nature and consistent with indigenous ancestry through forensic analysis. Construction halted at the site to allow for anthropological and archaeological investigations. Rottnest Island operated as an Aboriginal prison and forced labor camp from 1838 to 1931, incarcerating nearly 4,000 men and boys. But not all outlets told the same story. No contradictions found between the two sources. This story was covered by ABC News and news.com.au.